Have you ever eaten eggs that are 8 months old? Today, we did. I'm gonna fry up an old egg and I'm gonna fry up a new egg, and I'm not gonna tell you which egg is
Give
what.
it a whirl.
And you're gonna taste test and see.
right.
Tell the people if there's any difference.
I'm gonna eat a really old egg.
You're gonna eat an egg that's 8 months old.
Hey guys, welcome back to Heartway Farms. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out all things homesteading, family, farming, and prepping.
And today we're talking eggs, okay? It is January in Illinois, which means we have snow, we have very cold temperatures that just passed through.
And we have high egg prices.
We have, all of you guys are feeling the pain of the high egg prices, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Even Aldi has high prices for eggs, and that's the
Right.
cheapest eggs that I've seen, and they're just sub $5. So eggs are expensive. Our chickens in the winter, just like any backyard chicken, slow down with their laying, with the cold and with the lack of light, daylight hours. So this is completely normal, which is why we preserved some of our eggs this year.
And little did we know that 8 months ago that these eggs would be like three
Gold.
times the amount of price. So you know what we've got here. We've got a whole bunch of eggs and they're worth a lot of money right now.
They are. So I'm really glad that we have these because we have a farm to home business, you know, directly from our farm here, and we sell farm fresh eggs to all of our lovely Heartway Farms family members who are local. And because we're short on eggs right now, we sell out every single day. There's
Yep.
no way around it. We sell out every day. And so it's great for us to sell our fresh eggs to our customers, but then to walk down to our root cellar and open up our, you know, jar of water glassed eggs and just pick out what we need and use it for that day. So it's a
Right.
huge blessing to have this stocked up. I know for sure we're gonna do it again
Oh yeah.
next year. However, we have not opened,
This container.
touched,
Yep.
cracked any eggs open at all from this. It's been happy, so we have let it
Yep.
lie. We have not touched it.
We're 8 months into it. If you haven't seen the other video that we did on the water glassing the eggs, so a lot of people call it water glassing or liming or long-term egg storage. There's a lot of different terms out there for it, but essentially there's lime in here that has been mixed with the water, and we have not added a single ounce of water to this container.
Let's give a smell test first,
Does it
because we
smell like
haven't even
old?
talked about
Yeah.
this. I only smell what I would call like lime, almost like that solution, like the lime water solution.
Yeah,
I don't smell
it's almost
any
like a neutral smell.
any rotten smelling things or anything
And
gross.
I was looking on the outside when we brought it up here. There is no it doesn't look like there's any eggs that are broken.
That was one of the reasons why I was adamant about doing a clear glass jar.
Because we wanted to see.
Because I wanted to be able to see the process, first of all, because if you get a cracked egg in this mix, it can ruin the whole batch. And I didn't want to waste that
Right.
hard work. I have learned from watching other people's successes and failures that when you try to do water glassing in 5-gallon buckets, you tend to lose batches of eggs because of the weight of all of the eggs that press down.
Right.
So I went with this size container. I'm blanking right now. I think it's 3 gallons.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's
think
3
so.
gallons.
Yeah.
I can look on the bottom once we're done, but it's really heavy. But we went with this 3-gallon container so that I didn't want to have a crushing happen with the bottom
Right.
eggs. I also was very careful when choosing the eggs, and this is all recapped in the previous video if you want to check it out and learn how to do it for yourself.
Right.
I was very careful to pick shells that felt very solid and hard
No
and
cracks.
firm. No cracks. We even candled the
Okay.
eggs that we put in here. A lot of people skip that step.
Right.
But I highly recommend candling your eggs. It takes an extra 2 seconds to look at each egg that you're putting in. I'm so glad that we did, because when Maria and I were candling these eggs, there were some that had slight little cracks that you could not see with just your naked eye.
Right.
But the minute you put it on that light, you could, we were using our incubator to candle them, and you can use a flashlight too. You can see all of those little tiny fractures that you never knew were there. So I was really glad that we did that. I didn't want to do all this work and then waste it. So far visually, it looks really good. So should we dive in and see?
Yeah, just to show everyone real quick here, we've got the eggs in here, we've got the lime that's settled at the bottom, and that's
Totally normal.
That's something that people get concerned about. They're like, well, it's all settled at the bottom. It's because it's a hyper concentrated solution, and the lime is just in there, and that's part of the process of the lime, like kind of making like a coating around the egg.
Well, and what I
It stops the oxygen from getting into the egg.
And what I understand about the process is if the water was lacking in the proper proportions, it would draw from the base of that lime. Is that correct?
That's
from what I understand.
what we've been told, yes.
So anyway, again, we had not handled this. When we first put this down in the root cellar, I had put it down with just this lid, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I should probably cover that with some kind of plastic wrap or something like that to help keep it more airtight, not completely, but somewhat. So we did that, and what was happening was it was kind of causing this whole thing to leak. So I was like, forget it. I refilled up the water.
So it's like siphoning.
It was siphoning, funny. No matter what I did, it was like the way it was doing it was siphoning. So I was like, forget it. I'm taking off the plastic, and I am just going to put this lid, and we have lost no liquid, zero liquid to evaporation, at least that I can see with my eyes.
And I think it makes like almost like a little bit of a lime crust on top.
Yeah, you get a little crust on top, which is no big deal, totally normal.
Check that out. It is like a skin.
Gelatinous.
It's like a lime skin crust. So I think that's what, there's that film over it that's just stopped that water from evaporating. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into it here.
I have watched other people do this, and when they usually have cracked eggs, the whole thing will smell of rotten eggs. So I'm really glad that it smells like this. It just smells kind of like a solution more than anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a compare and contrast. Here, put them in here. Well, I'm gonna go wash them, so just put them in here.
All right.
Before we do any cracking or anything, wow.
They are still
soft hard.
At all.
They are still super hard and firm.
Yeah.
I have heard when you get upwards of like 1.5, 2 years that your shells will start losing integrity.
I don't think it's going to start happening.
Here, put them in here. Let's do 3. I'm going to cook up some eggs.
All different colors here.
Okay. So I'm going to take these into the kitchen, wash them off, and then we'll carry on.
Okay.
So I washed off 3 different eggs. I mean, not that it really matters, but one of each color that we had in there. And we did discover a slight
crack. I think the lime sealed it off though.
I think so too.
Let's smell it.
I mean, it smells totally fine. We're gonna check the texture, and honestly, it almost just looks like us. It's just right at the surface. There's nothing. Anyway, we're gonna test it out because we made sure nothing was cracked going into that. So yeah, we're gonna test it.
All right, before we do that though, real quick, we know we're gonna get asked is the lime that we used it was this small little bag, but we have since purchased a much larger bag.
Which you don't need very much. A little goes a long way. So this might be totally sufficient for a family that's maybe not as large as ours or whatever, depending on how many eggs you're wanting to
So this is calcium hydroxide food grade lime. You can get it in the small little pickling lime bags, or you can buy much larger bags. And actually some people in the prepping community have made recommendations that you can actually just use, because you're not consuming this lime, that you can just use bulk lime wherever you might be able to get it, even at a hardware store like Menards, Home Depot, something like that.
But this is different than like barn lime.
Yes.
So just remember that it's something completely different. You know, this I was able to purchase at a local Ace Hardware because that's who carries this. For some reason, the other places that carry canning supplies don't have the lime. They have the salt and the other items, but not the pickling lime.
Yep.
So anyway, really happy with this so far. But yeah, Josh picked me up a 50-pound bag, which will last us a very long time.
And we have the whole process in the other video, so check that out.
Please watch that before you do this, because it covers all of our bases, and you're going to see the what happened today. You're gonna see the effects of it.
Right.
Okay, so we have, and I also got 2 brand new eggs from today to do a side-by-side, just for fun.
So those are our farm fresh.
These are from today.
Eggs,
I literally just washed them, so they're brand new. And so let's do this here. Let's crack these in here, Marie. You can come and see. So here's that white one that had what looked like a little hairline crack in it.
Let me see that fork quick there. I'm interested to see if they look like, are they watery at all, or?
Well, I wanted to see if it would hold its shape. So that was the white one.
Right.
Here's the green one. Okay, that one lost some of its shape there.
Here's your other bowl.
Okay, so white, green, I'm just keeping track, and brown.
I don't think the color of the shell really matters.
I know, it doesn't. It's just helping me keep track of the numbers of stuff. Okay?
All right, so consistency-wise, we've still got the egg white. I would say it's maybe just a little more runny if I'm guessing, but we'll see. About the same, okay. Still looks like a decent egg white.
Still holding some shape.
And the same, I think maybe just a touch looser, but we'll have to get the farm fresh eggs there and see real quick here.
Okay, and I'm just gonna do, this is real life, farm life. It's the sniff check. Totally doesn't smell like anything negative. Has no scent at all, not even any kind of like lime penetration smell or anything like that.
Like I said, I think the lime's pretty neutral when it comes down to it.
Okay, that all.
I would say that if I'm a guessing person, if we do the farm fresh egg here, they're gonna be just a little bit looser in texture. But we'll see.
And what I'm gonna do, because I actually have heard repeatedly from other people that do this, that they tend to be good for baking and for scrambling, but not so much for fried eggs. However, I'm gonna test this one that has held its shape and see how it is for a fried egg.
And someone did make mention if you're doing something specially like making a meringue, you probably want to use a fresh egg for that.
Yeah,
but you probably don't need to be worrying about making meringues with your 8-month-old or 2-year-old eggs.
All right, so let's take a look at our farm fresh eggs from today. So we won't get confused here. Okay. Yeah, much thicker. Okay.
So, but not I wouldn't say a ton though, because there's still that loose outside over here.
Okay. Same with this one. Okay, we're just doing a couple different colors to have some tests. They're definitely thicker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick Josh out of here for a minute. We're gonna go into the kitchen. I'm gonna fry up an old egg and I'm gonna fry up a new egg, and I'm not gonna tell you which egg is what. And you're gonna taste test and see. Tell the people if there's any difference.
I'm gonna eat a really old egg.
You're gonna eat an egg that's 8 months old. All right, let's go into the kitchen. Okay, so I'm gonna be cooking up everything in my cast iron here, and just a nice little tip for you all. If you are making eggs, the true test of a cast iron is if you can cook eggs in a cast iron successfully without them sticking like crazy, right? So one of my tips that I have for you is beef tallow, preferably organic grass-fed if you can. We have rendered our own beef tallow as well, but today I'm using a store-bought beef tallow, which is organic. And that's what I use to season my pans with. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a good color. And I season my pan with that. But then also when I'm cooking eggs, I'll tell you what I do. I don't know what you do, but I'll tell you what I do. I put just a little bit of this beef tallow in the bottom of my pan. So I put a little bit in the pan and let it get nice and warm. I usually try to get the pan hot before I ever put an egg in. So I'm gonna let this melt. Okay, so I let that beef tallow get nice and melted and evenly distributed, and I get my pan hot, like between a 3 and a 4 level, which is like a medium to high. Not super high, but warm, get it warm. And then I put a good portion of butter. We're not afraid of fat in this family. We're not afraid of carbs, but you should get this kind of response when you put your butter in. And you wanna use a good portion of it to fry up your eggs so they don't stick. And then, as you guys know from our experiment, we have 2 different kinds of eggs. One is 8 months old and one is from today. And I know which is which. This is the old one. We're gonna do this one first and fry it up, see if it holds its shape. Okay, it definitely spread quite a bit more than like a normal fried egg would. So we're gonna let this one cook up first. But you see how it spread almost over. This is about a 10-inch pan. It's holding the center, but you can see it definitely spread out. So hopefully this doesn't ruin it for Josh so he knows what's what. And I am losing some shape here, Marie. Which again, we're more concerned about flavor, but I didn't do anything and I'm losing the shape here, so. Okay, let's give it a flip. Yeah, it's definitely wanting to break on me, so it's definitely not as easy to work with as a fresh egg, but let's finish this up. But it smells completely normal. I'm not getting any kind of hint of anything negative, which is good. Okay, and I'm gonna do my best when I cook up the next egg that's fresh from today. I'm gonna try to make it look like this egg so that he can't tell. We'll see if I can do that. I might break the yolk and try to make it look the same. Okay, this one is done. let's move on to our fresh egg from today. I'm gonna put a tiny bit more butter in there, just make sure my pan is, so we don't have any sticking issues. Okay, you can see on this one that it's holding the shape so much better, and it only spread to about half the size of the other one. So it's maintaining its integrity as far as like the shape of a fried egg would typically be. But I'm gonna try to make this egg look like this egg so Josh can't tell the difference and visually. I don't know if you can tell or not, but nothing is sticking to my pan. Everything, like it's just sliding right out. It's no big deal. If you just kind of have a good seasoned cast iron pan and use the proper fats while you're cooking, you should not have an issue with eggs, scrambled eggs, fried eggs in your cast irons. I'm trying to make it so we can't tell the difference. Hopefully I did it. But this one's done. Tried to make it kind of look flat, try to make them about the same size-ish. I know which is which, but let's go have Josh taste it in the dining room.
Bring me some old eggs.
Old and new. you can't tell. Okay, I tried to make them look the same. So
okay.
The 8-month-old egg, I'm not gonna tell you which is which, but the 8-month-old egg, the yolk broke when I put it in. So I put it in the pan and it held its integrity like in shape at first, but then it spread. So I made the new egg, well I tried. I broke the yolk and I tried to make the new egg taste like, or look like the old egg to keep it even Steven, right? So anyway, I want you to taste them and see, don't mix up the plates because I know I did the whole thing. But I'm curious on your taste, what you think, see if there's any difference. I didn't put any salt, no pepper, nothing. The only thing, I cooked it in butter.
Just go for a big old bite?
Yeah, just try it. I'm curious. I couldn't smell anything.
Smell any difference?
No, it smells like butter and little beef tallow. Normal
like
egg? Okay. Let's try this one, see if this tastes like a normal egg. You can't tell visually which is which, can you? Or can you? I tried to be tricky.
Tastes like an egg.
You can't tell the difference at all? All right, I gotta get a fork.
Now you gotta do it, huh? If I had to be a guessing man, I would say that that's the older egg and this is the newer egg.
Because of the color of the yolk?
Just because of the integrity of the yolk.
I tried really hard, but
if I'm guessing, but the flavor is not any different.
It's probably not gonna come through. Can you see it, Marie, or can you not?
So this is
super yellow.
Farm fresh egg today. And I just noticed because this had a little bit more of that, like, broken down.
Well, and you can see the color of this, and I tried to break it up. But this one is from today. I'm gonna do the today one first.
Sure.
And again, I like salt and pepper on my eggs, so. But there's butter in there, so it's got salt in it.
It's an egg. I don't think there's an ounce of difference.
The only difference.
Like we could feed our kids old eggs and they wouldn't know the difference.
Idea. The only difference is the color of the yolk.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny,
they don't look
that different. Maybe a little bit, because our farm fresh eggs from today are beautifully.
Let me play with this real quick here.
Beautifully.
So
that's a new one.
This is farm fresh.
Yeah.
But if we were to mix it up here.
Yeah.
Just one more thing. I mean, I know that we're like really deep diving on the whole egg here. But people ask, people want to know. They're like, well, does it taste different? Does it hold a different texture? Does it look different, you know?
So that's a scrambled.
All right, so that's scrambled up there, and then this one's already kind of scrambled, but I don't think, like, you're not gonna notice any difference though. Except for that this one maybe
the color.
This one scrambled more smoothly together, see? It's like, there's just a little bit of that integrity of the yolk structure and the white which is probably why the person who said don't make meringues with them, because they don't hold their. But there, I mean that's. So yeah, I mean they're probably just going to be a little bit more blended together.
Yeah, and I'll be very honest. I don't like the texture of frozen eggs. We have done that before.
Yeah, no.
And it's doable, but it changes the texture like significantly.
I would do this all day long.
I'm very happy with this. I mean, I literally can't tell the difference by taste. the color is the only thing that's throwing me off. And if
our
you
kids
bought,
like the scrambled / flat eggs anyhow.
they
so
do. They call them flat eggs, or they also they like what's called Mexican eggs in their opinion, where we take fresh salsa and mix it in with spinach, and so you literally would not be able to tell the difference. We'll have to bake with these and see if they hold up the same way.
I think you're not making meringues with them, but
I can't tell it tastes a difference.
We are putting up lots more eggs this way.
Well,
because at the very least, let's just say this. You put them up, you go through the headache of storing them and putting them aside, and egg prices go through the roof. And
which is happening
they're
right
sitting
now.
down there, and at the very worst, I guess you would say, is that you have a whole bunch of eggs that they get towards their like maximum shelf life, and the dogs will still eat them.
Right.
So not that we want them to get wasted. Yeah, not that we want them to be wasted, but when you're looking at, like, I'm so thankful because 8 months ago, we weren't thinking about the cost of eggs being through the roof and not having access to them outside of just seasonality type of stuff.
Right.
But now, if we would have had multiple, well, we do have multiple jugs of these down there now, but just sitting aside, it's not wasted.
Right, and like you have mentioned already, we don't buy eggs from the store, of course, but we do have to feed our chickens, and our feed costs. And I feel bad for our customers because they're feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. Like I said, when you go to Aldi and your dozen eggs are $5 in Illinois, just telling you the prices,
cheap,
just under
eggs.
$5.
Yeah.
Went into Walmart, and for 18 eggs of their lowest of low eggs, it was $6 and something. I can't remember what the change was. It was $6.50 or whatever it was for 18 eggs. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But the reason is because for us, because our feed bill is so high, we have had to raise the price of our eggs here too, just to break even. Right. And so having these for us so that we can still provide eggs for the community, which is great, and have these as a backup for us, I think that's pretty important and
just to be clear, we're eating these as a family, the community's
we're not selling these.
So.
We will not sell these to you. Unless you're starving, then we'll sell them to you. No, but I think this is we know this is a proven method. We know this is people have been doing this for generations.
Yeah, hundreds of years.
And it's proven and it's safe, and I'm really happy with it. We'll continue to test out this particular batch. I'm hoping to test it at a year and maybe see how far we can go. Right. And we'll continue to update you guys on the process as we go through it. But don't be scared of this process. Just be thorough. That would be my advice. Don't be scared of diving into it, but do your research on how to do it properly so that you don't waste time, energy, money, resources, all of that. You don't want to waste eggs either.
And space. I mean, it does take up space.
It does take up space, which we have a root cellar, which is a blessing. And I have no problem putting this on the floor of the root cellar because it's glass. For sure. So overall, a very good experience. I would be very curious to bake with some of these eggs, and we will try that and update you, whether it's on the channel or on social media or whatever. We'll keep everybody updated on the process. But really good experience. I mean, I'm so glad. I would just be cautious to not go with a larger container. Yep.
So go ahead and water glass or lime your eggs and eat old eggs.
Quick bonus tip for all of you guys who have cast irons. I do not use soap on my cast irons for a daily washing, but let's say we're out back and we're camping with the kids out back. I am not afraid to use soap once in a while, but that just means that you need to get it clean and then re-season your pan. But otherwise, I just made those eggs. Look because my pan is seasoned, I don't have to do anything. My pan is practically clean. If I need to do a little tiny scrub, then I just use my little scrub brush and I do this and just get those edges clean. And then I come back over to the stove, and not everybody does this, but this is what I do and it works for me. I turn my heat back on. I'm gonna let this pan get really hot, heated back up, okay? And I'm just helping it along the way here, getting some of the moisture out. So it takes me like 30 seconds to clean my pan once I'm done. So I heat it back up, get it dry. I take a little bit more of that beef tallow, and I'm telling you, like a little bit. This lasted me a very long time. And Julianne was even using it for homemade lotion, so it is lasting me a very long time. So I take a little bit of that beef tallow, I let it melt into my pan, just to create an extra little seasoning layer there. So this is fast seasoning. And that is it. Then I take my pan, I hook it back up on my nice little handy wall hanger that Josh made for me, and that's it.